Okay, we started the quiz review yesterday. We went through page 14, right? We did 1 through 3, so we started the quiz review yesterday. I wanted us to get started yesterday because I wanted just to get that extra practice since we haven't seen parabolas in a few days. So we did 1 through 3. I don't think there were any issues. Hopefully, we're all able to get through. And then today, we're going to do page 15, going back to circles. And then I think we'll have additional time, so I had you guys pick up worksheet 2, and we'll just get another round of review for tomorrow's quiz. So let's go to page 15 in your packet first, and then we'll do this. You did, okay, Megan, you can go ahead and start on this. Okay, so page 15. Go ahead and start. I'll work through the problem as you guys are working through them as well.
Oh, you're asking. Because it's that number divided by 4.
Okay, guys, number 4. Page 15. Is it too bright in here for you? Is it too bright in here? Oh, okay. Is that better? Yeah. You know, whatever's inside the parentheses, you can always pull those values, change the sign, and that will be the center. You know that whatever is on the right side of the equation is always, you got to always do the square root of that number to get it down to the radius. So square root of 15 is close to square root of 16. You know square root of 16 is 4. So it's going to be a little bit less than 4, like 3.9. Okay, so tomorrow, no calculator on the quiz. So a lot of it you may have to do a little bit of estimation. Okay, any questions with 4 or 5? Okay, number 6, you're given the center of the circle. Tangent line is going to be where the circle is going to kind of skim the surface of that line. You know x equals is a vertical line, so you can draw a dotted line down -2, and then you can count that distance between the center and that dotted line, and that will tell you what the radius is for your circle. Right, number 7, you have an equation that's in general form. So you're going to have to complete the square for both the x's and the y's. So you group the x together, group the y's together, push the constant over to the other side. So x squared minus 10x goes together, add a space. Y squared minus 16y goes together, add a space. Move the 88 to the other side, so that positive becomes a negative 88, and the add 2 spaces, because we're complete the square for both the x's and the y's. Okay, the formula for what goes inside those spaces is b over 2 squared. So 10 over 2 is 20. 10 over 2 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 16 over 2 is 8. 8 squared is 64. And then factor the x's, factor the y's, and then add the terms on the right side of the equation. Once you have your circle in standard form, then make sure that you're able to pull the center correctly and also take the square root of the right side of your equation. And square root of 1 is still 1, so that's why radius is still 1. Okay, are we okay with 6 and 7? Okay, I want to work number 8 from scratch so I can show all the steps here. Okay, so here's number 8. Here you're given the center and an arbitrary point on the circle. So you're going to have to use this information to help you get to the radius. So your center is your HK, your point is an XY. And right now we need to involve that XY to help us get to the radius. Okay, so I'm going to replace all the H's and K's with 5 and -2 and replace every X and Y with -3 and 1. And that will help us solve for R. Okay, it's only asking for the equation. So we'll reinsert HK into the equation and then replace R squared with 73. Okay, so there's a very specific way that we solve this type of problem, or that we use this, that we use the circle equation to help us solve for R, and then get that to help us find our equation. Any questions with 8? Okay, number 9, it says find the equation of a circle whose diameter has endpoints So the first goal is to get to the center, okay? Because you have diameter whose endpoints are given. So let's say we have 2 points along the diameter, but the first thing we need to do is find the what? Yeah, we could go through that form, but I think it's easier to just get to that center, right? And if I have 2 endpoints, how do I get to the center? Okay, we call that the midpoint formula. Okay. But yeah, midpoint just means allows us to get to the center between those 2 endpoints, and that will be the center that we're going to use. And then once you get to the center, then it's going to feel like number 9, right? Then we can just use any point to get and help us get to the radius, and then the same steps. But number 9 has an additional step. We got to get to the center because we're not given that directly. So midpoint just means find the average of the x's, find the average of the y's, and that's your midpoint. But in this case, our midpoint will also be the center of our circle, which we need. Okay, so 24 over 2 is 12. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. So now that you have your center and a point, we can use the circle equation to help us find the radius. So either point is fine. You can choose either point to be x and y. I'll choose 4 and 9. Those seems like a number that's smaller and easier to work with. And then my center is obviously h and k. So now it feels just like the previous problem. Just want to get to the radius. Okay, you have your r squared, you have your center, and now I can just put it into your circle equation. Okay, number 10, for now you can use the calculator. If a problem like this shows up on the quiz, it'll be easier numbers to work with. But ultimately, you're given x and y, you just basically you can just figure out the hypotenuse. And you just want to know whether that hypotenuse or that radius, is it less than 30 or more than 30? If it's more than 30, then that distance is not going to qualify for free delivery. But if it's less than 30, then it's inside the circle, then it'll qualify for a free delivery. Okay, is everybody still working on number 9? Okay, here's 10. Greater than 0, greater than 30. Okay, so once you're done, go ahead and start worksheet 2. Yeah, so tomorrow, if I gave this problem to you, it'll be smaller numbers, right?
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody still need this page? Then start worksheet 2. Back to parabolas.
Oh, good God, this is so fun. No, I'm really excited. Lack of sense. That's okay, Josh.
Okay, so anybody still need to look at number 1? Okay, whenever you're done with the first page, go ahead and try the second page. Okay, did anybody still need the first page?
That's nice to hear.
All right, are we okay with 4 and 5? Yeah, go ahead. All right, double check my work. Would you guys get that as well?
-2. And the radius is your equation, like to the left, but it's 11 plus 1, and then 11 minus 2.
Oh,
Just 9.
it was 9, 9, 9, 9. Oh, yeah, 9. Thanks. Okay, you guys get that? Yeah.
Can you show us number 7?
Yeah. Give me a moment here. I'll pull up to 7 in a minute. Okay, here's 7. Okay, give you guys a minute or two to finish up. I'm going to check worksheet 2 as well as page 14 and 15 on the quiz review in your packet. Okay, quiz is tomorrow. Very similar problems. Make sure you go through and review your formulas, right? Your parabola, your circle, midpoint, and b over 2 squared for completing the square. No calculator, and I have a worksheet 3. I'll have that available on the website. I'll try to get the key ready, but tomorrow I'll do a help session during 4th period. Let me know if there's any problems you want me to put on the overhead so you can check. Okay, so again, I'll check worksheet 2 and page 14, 15. Okay.
This is not normal. But you don't look normal, so. Well, I guess you did back then. Back in the days. There's some here. New joke.